Hey guys, welcome to the next installment of. Oh my God, Ambly, I've zoomed in on your face so much. It's Ed's fault, I promise.
Fuck you.
Oh, that's rude. I trusted you.
I know. I'm so sorry. Welcome to the next episode. Oh, and I've also got feedback. I can hear myself somewhere. Oh, never mind.
You can't.
Never
No,
the mind.
I was gonna say I did exactly the same thing, Lee.
So there's a much more fitting. There we go, Ambly. We're not so zoomed in on your head anymore.
Good. Thank you.
Huzzah.
Yeah, again there. Okay, yeah. So the next installment, Alice. While I am playing with the webcams, would you mind giving everyone a quick update of where we got to last time?
Okay. Last time, lots of very traumatic, sad things happened. You killed a bear, which Ali has not forgiven you for yet.
No one has forgiven him.
She has changed her name to Pro Bear. We are now fighting for the bears. That's my phone vibrating. But basically, it was all of our origin stories, and it all led us to the one point finding out about the Army of Darkness, which is basically coming to destroy the world. And after meeting up, I can't remember the name of, was it like the captain or something, but he sent us to go and see the king and warn the king, basically. And as we did so, the city was attacked, and that's where we are at the moment. So
awesome, thank you very much. So if we recall last time, we basically got to you got to the king's throne room to deliver your message about the armies of darkness attacking, and as you got into the throne room, bells started tolling in the city, and Valak, the guard who escorted you here, claimed that the city was under attack. However, before we get onto that, I want to track back a little bit to the events that happened the night before you arrived in the city. Specifically, the evening before. So you met Alice and Rosie and Dwayne met down near Rosie's home village of Foxglove. Thank you. Let's get my map a little bit closer. Professional streaming, everyone. Professional streaming. You also met Runo there, who had been captured for sneaking around the nearby towns. And you made your way north and stopped at Maine. Now, I would like to home in on when you were making camp that evening. So, Rosie, the events of yesterday are weighing heavily on you. Yes. And you begin to get teary as the sun sets.
I think she'd probably just be a bit of a blubbering mess more than anything else. Like wouldn't want to talk to anyone, would probably sit on her own. Everything's finally caught up with her. She sort of reacted in the moment, and now just can't deal with and can't really comprehend everything around her at the moment.
So Runo and Dwayne, you can both see this. Runo, your hands are still bound, but you can you've been given somewhat free rein to move around.
All right. So I guess I should take initiative then.
I just crying in a corner over here, guys.
Yeah, I can see we're in a bit of a pickle. And you know what always cheers me up when I'm dealing with war? Not being tied up smoking on my pipe. That's
I,
always nice.
I think Rosie just sort of looks over to Runo, just like you can see what I'm going through. I've already told you I'm not going to unbind your hands yet. Why are you just adding to this?
He sort of like sighs and he goes forward to you and sits down and try to make the best of the situation, and going through his bag and bringing out his pipe, and trying to put in some what looks like some green grass there, and tries to lit it. Can I roll for this because my hands are tied?
Yeah, if you want to. I mean,
Of course. What would that be?
sleight of hand.
Is it
Dexterity?
dexterity? Let's go.
Of course.
And this is it disadvantage?
No,
Normal.
yeah. Roll twice. Sleight of hand twice.
Okay, disadvantage.
Yeah, just roll twice. You should be fine. Ah, brilliant. Roll no more. So,
Okay, explain.
you
what
drop
happens?
as you're trying to load your pipe. You drop it in the mud.
Rosie at this point feels a little bit sad for him. Sort of wipes her face and picks it up, wipes it down like on her coat, and sort of without looking, doesn't really want to see anyone, but just passes it and helps him light it. So,
Oh, thank you, friend. And he sort of gives it a few puffs, and gives it to you. Like, want to try?
she sort of just shakes her head like, I don't smoke. I never have smoked
Oh,
before, so
it's good. It calms you, makes you calm.
I think Rosie hesitantly takes it, and I'm guessing tries to draw in tries to give it like a smoke, and just coughs and splutters and really cannot deal with it at all, and hands it back, like laughs a little bit, like, thanks, and just smiles and nods at the appreciation of trying to come and help and say hi.
Yeah, Runo, he's like laughs at your pain,
Yeah.
and it happens the first time.
Yeah.
First couple of times.
So
Anyway,
while all this is going on, Dwayne, what are you doing?
I'm probably just sat by the fire, just poking at it with the stick, whilst at the same time, because obviously, I might assume that it's quite late at night. Is that right?
It's got late enough that you need to take a break. Rest the horses.
Yeah.
Make
So
camp. It's not. You're not. It's not like a full campsite, because you are running from a horde of army, but you're going to get a few hours sleep.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay, fair. So yeah, I'm probably just sort of maybe stood up, just keeping watch along the road that we've come along and looking at the tree line. I can hear and I can see my two companions' sort of interaction, but at the moment I'm neither in the mood to deal with another crying halfling and this very odd captured smoking person. So I'm just trying at the moment to keep to myself and just instead try and watch out for anyone that might be following us.
Yeah. Okay. Demon. Yeah. Person. Demon. One of the two. Yeah. Okay.
That's the one.
So as the night draws in, you begin to bed down. So do we take from this, Dwayne, that you are keeping watch whilst the others get their heads down?
Yeah, that's the right.
Okay. So you guys, you're pretty knackered. A lot's happened today. I imagine Rosie struggles to get to sleep, but Runo, you're not too bad. You've managed to get a smoke out of this. You're quite used to being tied up. You managed to get to sleep quite easily. And when sleep falls heavily on you, you very quickly enter a deep dream.
All right.
In your dream, you are face to face with the dire wolf again.
So what do you see?
So you're back at the pool with the moon shining over you in the forest where you first met him. He's standing on the rock opposite from you once more. and he's looking at you with this intent gaze.
Okay, Runa is just like, so we meet again. What are you gonna tell me this time?
So he fixes you with his gaze, and again, when he talks to you, it's like he's sending images again. But this time you are definitely still tiefling, and you're talking normally. And he sends you with a message. So you headed east towards the darkness.
Yeah, that's where destiny's taking me for now. Trying to change direction, sort of. Yeah, darkness isn't really my cup of tea.
So he sends you the following images, which you can translate as you will. The first is a large castle, which you could recognize if you weren't really sure what cities were, as the main city Durgar, and it's got the sun shining on it brightly. And wolves nearby in the field are playing and hunting happily. Then the image changes, so the sun sets and the moon shines over the city instead. And now all the wolves in the field lie dead.
All right.
And with that, the wolf is gone.
Okay. And I do know that this is a special kind of dream.
Yes. You will remember this dream when you wake.
The special kind of special.
I'm gonna write this down. Okay.
Okay. So whilst you're taking that in, we will wind forward to back into the city where you've met Valak, and he has escorted you into the king's throne room to deliver your message. And both of you, if you recall, delivered your messages that to the southeast, Foxglove was overrun with the Army of the Dark, and Volta also told us that the lands to the east, New Haven, and then presumably Gareth's Hold and the Quarry lands, have also been overrun from the Black Hills. And Valak comes into the door as bells begin tolling around the city, saying that the city is under siege. The king's advisor stands and points a finger at you, accusing you of treachery. He says, These villains, they have come to the city, and now immediately it is under attack. They must surely have some dealings in this, sire.
If we had some dealings in this, then why on earth would we have warned you of it in the first place? That doesn't make any sense. We'd have just gave you a surprise attack.
This is a fair point, Benjamin, my good advisor. They would not have come here to warn us and invade. But one of them could be an assassin. Do they have weapons on them?
Of course we have weapons on us. Who travels these days without weapons when there's an army of darkness outside? Do you not yourself carry a weapon?
Yeah, I do not have need for such things. And the king sort of calms
You
Benjamin.
probably can't hold one.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, burn!
So the king sort of turns to Benjamin and says, Benjamin, there is no time for this sort of debate right now. The city is under siege. I trust them, and as my advisor, I expect you to too. Now, we must go to the war room, for we need to plan our reaction to this assault, and quickly. And with that, he rises, and you're not invited, but no one's stopping you from following him as a group.
I think I just sort of hesitate for a bit. I'm not. This is the first time Rosie's sort of been out of her tiny village and sort of taking everything in, and she sort of turns to the other side. Do we just want to leave here as quickly as possible?
Bruno, like.
So
I can't leave here without getting. Oops, sorry.
Go.
Well, I mean, we are under attack. I don't have any weapons. I I don't like fighting. Should we go?
So Callie takes Volta by the shoulder and looks into Volta's eyes and says, "Surely we must stay to defend the city.
Aren't we the guards at the other town?
You are guardsmen, yes."
Of the other town we came from.
Yes, New Haven.
New Haven, exactly. I didn't even realize I was there. I must say, didn't caught that. Well, the thing is, we got the other town to defend as well, so I'm not sure. Okay, my second screen died with them.
So so that's 2 for staying, 2 for leaving. The
But
group.
I'm prone to leading for defending our town.
Okay, cool. So Dwayne, everyone looks like they want to leave. How do you stand?
I can't leave. I need information from the city, and if it's under attack, there's the chance that any information I want is going to get destroyed. That can't happen. So I'm staying whether or not you leave.
What sort of information do you need?
I need to go and speak to someone about magic.
Surely there's other people in other cities that know of magic.
Apparently, well, in a city such as this, I'm pretty sure I get the most amount of information I'd need, and I don't want to waste this opportunity by coming all the way here. Especially with the army of darkness outside, who knows when I'll get another opportunity, if they're breaking down the door of every other town in the country.
Okay, I think he just nods to that and sort of goes to stand next to her and says, okay, well, you can't go on your own. Let me come with you.
So at this point, Valak dips into the room again and addresses Volta and Callie, who are still wearing their New Haven tabards. They say the rest of your units are returning with the evacuated civilians. They're sending the civilians west to take shelter in Fort Yondon. But the rest of the guards will be staying here to defend the city.
Okay then. Stay here it is.
So there's been bad reports from all quadrants. The Army of Darkness, Valak sort of hesitates at this. The Army of Darkness are attacking from south and east and northeast too. We believe Bleak Post and Gareth's Hold are completely overrun. We are preparing the fortress for assault. I do not think that you adventurers will be skilled enough to join the military ranks. You need military training. However, we will be moving civilians out through the west gate towards Long Beach and Fort Yondon. And if you want to help, that would be a very good use of you.
I'd like to help in whatever way I can. I've got nowhere else to go back to at the moment, so...
If that's what's going to stop the invasion of the city, then I suppose we better get on with it.
A quick question.
For
My hometown was already sort of a military area.
Mm-hmm.
Were they sent from this city? Or where did they come from?
Yes, they were sent from the city. That is one of our southern division. They are holding the mines for weapons.
Okay, so there's a big chance someone in this castle know what's maybe they know where everyone else was sent from my village.
Quite possibly, yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I can help.
Enthusiasm is finest.
Without any reason, you can just see him for like 5 minutes and then he changed his mind.
Deep thought.
And,
I think
Ty?
I think Rosie just waits for direction now. If she doesn't know any area of the city, she's never been to a city before, so she has no idea where she is.
Mhm.
But just waits.
So Valak leads you through to the war room, like foyer, not in the actual war room where the planning is going on, but he leads you into like the entrance hall to that room, or the more like a corridor. But this is a palace, so everything's big and grand. And there's a number of people here waiting to be assigned, and you sort of join those for a minute in general milling about, and you're just getting like snippets of news for the moment.
Okay, does anyone there seem to is this a room with people that are in the lead? I'm trying to look for a general that might have some power and know some stuff.
Mhm.
Do you see anyone?
Valak is directing people up front, but he looks extremely busy.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I'm waiting for orders then.
Can Rosie
being
just
uptight.
eavesdrop? Sort of. She's quite small, so could she sort of shift in between the people, trying to listen to if anyone is saying something important, or
Yeah,
that's
certainly. So Rosie moves closer to Valak, and you can hear like he's shouting orders at some people, but other times there are guards coming up to him and sort of in hushed tones saying, my lord, the East Gate, it's taking heavy bombardment from hooks and orcs. We desperately need backup. And there's similar reports about the North Gate. And although the Fortress of Light is famous for being like the rock that stands against the darkness, these reports aren't sounding very good. It sounds like the invasion isn't going too well for your friends.
Okay. I think she sort of heads back to the others and is like, in general, this is not good. It's not going well. We can't seem to hold back their forces. Was it from the east? Did you say, sorry?
East and the north.
From the east and the north.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just sort of relays that information to the others, and I think she holds, she just draws an arrow, but sort of quite sneakily. She's not making it aware that she's getting ready for anything.
Okay. So soon you see Gregor storm in, the knight in shining armor, golden plate armor that you will recognize from the station at Maine near Foxglove. He was taking his battalion in to try and save your village when last you saw him, and he's striding up to the war room confidently.
Okay.
You're currently like hiding and eavesdropping. Do you make yourself visible, or do you?
I think I just sort of slowly slink back. I don't make it obvious that I'm moving away, but like I still want to stay within eavesdropping distance, but I don't want to make it obvious that I'm amongst a crowd of people. Maybe stand behind them.
Okay, so the only thing you notice as he passes is that there's like a slight flicker of light coming from the corners of his eyes. And as he storms into the room, you hear, almost before the doors have finished closing, him shouting, "You there, send 500 more guards down to the east gate, and you, man the north gate, take 500 archers north now!" And things like this. And you hear him just stride up to the map, and the king really lets him get on with this. He's clearly a trusted general. And soon Valak comes back to you and says, we have a number of villagers waiting to be transported north and west to Fort Yondon. We don't think the North Roads are overrun right now, but you will join a small battalion of soldiers, mainly the old and the young, the untrained, who will be taking them north and west. And you're given some papers and sent to go and join this battalion. And before you know it, you are with these villagers who are generally a bit of a dreary mess. There's lots of crying. People are shuffling. Some are
Ugh.
trying to take all their possessions with them. They've got large backpacks, which they've got pretty much everything in their kitchen sink in, trying to keep hold of all their earthly possessions.
Can Rosie sort of shift between some of them, sort of either by saying or gesturing, just leave it behind, it's going to weigh you down, like travel light, you won't be able to outrun someone if you're carrying, I don't know, all your pots and pans with you.
I'm probably just going to be sort of almost doing the same, but in my kind of way, which is sort of firm pressure on backs of people as I just try and shove them along. I don't really say anything to them. I just sort of just try and come on, keep moving, stop crying.
Runo's actually looking.
Just sort of.
Runo's looking like if anyone left something with value behind, sort of going through the pants and like.
Oh, opportunistic. Does like Rosie or anyone see any like of Runo doing this? Or...
I don't know, Runo. Are you being particularly sneaky about it, or are you doing this?
I'm not trying to sneak, but I'm kind of. Yeah, don't mind me. Just going through. Like, do I find anything? Do I find a really shiny like teapot or?
Can Rosie sort of just walk up? I know she's not tall enough, but effectively do the equivalent of smack in the back of the head and push forward to keep going, and make him drop what he's carrying, and then like, is his hands still tied? They are, aren't they? Sort of.
Yeah, they are.
No one's untied them yet, so yeah.
No, not yet. But because he started thieving.
No, did I find anything? Is my first question.
Well, it sounds like you were looking out for a teapot, so you find like a small metal travel teapot that someone's dropped.
Okay, I want to take it.
Yep. Okay, so you take that, and Rosie sort of pushes you just as you pick it up, so you sort of nearly stagger over it. But
I sort of give her a look of what the hell are you playing, that sort of thing, and then just keep. So I'm only little, aren't I? Because yeah, sort of just push with whatever I've got, jab my bow in his back to keep him moving, sort of thing.
Can you do it?
Just jab him.
So a familiar figure rides over and says, "You there, you people, come on, we need to keep these people moving."
It's him again.
You! I didn't
sort
think they'd let you out of your castle.
Have you got a weapon yet? Like, you might need one right about now. And Rosie just sort of wave him on, like, right. Yes.
Well done, you two. You've just earned yourself scrubbing duty this evening. And he just rides on.
Is there even a weapon you can handle with a matchstick?
Can I just do like a really rude gesture towards him, please?
Okay, as he's riding away, you do a rude gesture. Sorry, Dwayne, I didn't hear what you said.
It's fine. I was just gonna say, I just sort of turn a dry eye to him and just sort of look at him and go, "Is there a weapon you can even hold? What, something akin to a matchstick? Is that what they've given you?"
Riding behind the King's Advisor is a particularly gravelly-looking sergeant who turns to you, and he's a big guy and quite well decorated. He's probably the only well-trained person in this group, and definitely the leader. And he says to you, "What you said is right. You'll be doing the scrubbing duty. Now sort your acts out."
We're helping. We're doing as you asked. We're the ones who
We're not
warned
even
you
being-
that the army was
Right.
coming.
We're helping Sa.
No.
Get off your
High
high
horse,
high horse. You
literally.
get down to my level.
Yeah, come and look us in the eyes and say that.
You've got better things to do than talk down to us. Now get on with your actual job.
And then we keep going. I ignore him and I'm just gonna keep walking.
Okay.
Dwayne kind of offers like a very sort of begrudging high five to Rosie.
I was gonna say mince her right in the end. Keep going.
Okay.
Not like that sort of person.
So we wind forward. You are not. You are pretty much seen as a separate group because of your interactions with the advisor and the sergeant.
Good.
So you have to make your own campfire sort of off to one side. You don't get any of the benefits, and you don't get any of the food that they're cooking until you take up your scrubbing duty. You also don't get any pay, like any of the other soldiers.
That's fine.
Can I go and hunt some?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Also, can I use because I have like rustic hospitality, so I can like scavenge. I know I can find things like berries. I've got bow and arrow, so I can hopefully like catch a rabbit or something like that.
There won't be enough time to hunt. It's another one of them nights where you're literally putting your heads down for 5 or 6 hours.
Well, I can find vegetation, right?
But when everyone else is eating, using your your ways with the common folk, you can convince them to give you some of their food.
Yeah. Okay. Can I go up to someone handing out the food and just hold out sort of a biggish bowl that would probably feed quite like a couple of us, like our little group, and just hold it out? And
Yeah, you get plenty enough food to feed everyone.
Okay.
So not too much.
I'm a nice adorable. I do like the Puss in Boots eyes, like the really wide eyes.
Whilst you're doing this, one of the civilians sort of looks to you and says, I heard Sir Gregor talking with the advisor before we left. There were people from Foxglove who survived.
As in how many?
I'm not sure of the numbers, but I know they were able-bodied. They were helping the group of survivors ahead of us to evacuate.
I think Rosie doesn't really know what to make of that, but just says sort of, well, not even says anything, just nods and sort of shuffles off back to her camp, sort of doesn't want to get her hopes up kind of thing. Because, but yeah.
Okay, so as you guys bed down, who will be taking watch? Obviously, Dwayne took watch last night and she's not slept now for 2 days.
No, I can take watch.
Okay. So, Dwayne, could you roll me a 1d20, please?
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What have we done now?
Right, hold on. Need to get on the right flipping thing. Okay. What was it? Sorry, 1d20?
Just a regular d20.
Okay.
You have a peaceful night's sleep.
That's lucky.
No haunted bear dreams.
So,
yes.
whilst you are sleeping, all of you sort of share this same dream, except I suppose for Rosie, but Rosie you will soon know about it anyway, so we can assume you know for now. So you see arrows raining from the sky against the now sad grey walls of Durgar. The unrelenting orc forces are smashing against the walls, and dark blood magic is emanating from a tower in the midst of their army. Like you can literally see red pulses falling over the orcs, healing them, bringing them strength. The arrows falling from the city walls aren't really doing much damage to the orcs down below, but the orcs down below are out of arrow range to fire back. suddenly you see 500 orcs in a rough sort of two-man line, so 250 a line, running through the mayhem of battle. And as they get close to the east gate, a oozing mass appears between them, and it solidifies into an evil-looking ram longer than any tree. And with their combined sprint and this sudden magical ram, the gates splinter open. The so-called unbreachable gates splinter like their matchsticks. The defenders of light scramble to hold, whilst the orcish archers now fire on the open gate. But soon a fist of orcs breaches the gateway, and the defenders are pushed back. And it looks like this could be the critical moment that sways the battle for the Fortress of Light. Suddenly, lightning sparks from the great hold and strikes the fist of orcs as they breach the gateway. Amidst the chaos of flying corpses, a whirlwind of a man becomes apparent. As more forces breach the gate, he delicately twirls his hammer with lightning in his eyes, crushing bones and relentlessly pushing the dark forces back, allowing the defenders to regroup behind him. When he swings his hammer, thunder claps with every strike, and as he points, lightning arcs from his hands, frying orcs. As the army of darkness now focuses on the now opening gates, and the army of light also focuses on it as a focal point, a large grappling hook catapults from some siege weapons onto the eastern wall, and in short order the wall is pulled down. At this moment, the Golden Paladin sort of stops and sighs with resignation as a second hook grips the northern wall, and his head sort of comes up and he focuses on the dark tower where all the magic is pulsating from. He leaps onto the fallen battering ram, which forms a neat sort of line to that tower, and he sprints along it, not stopping at any point, but bashing orcs aside, left, right, and center as he runs. He gets to the end of the battering ram and leaps onto the tower with an unnatural agility for his heavy plate mail, shining still somehow in the now shadowed lands. And as he climbs, 1, 2, and then 3 plumed arrows sink deeply into his armor, but he continues to climb. As he reaches the top, suddenly his arms and legs go stiff, a feeling which you might recognize, Dwayne, from when your mother bound you by magic. And he is lifted onto the top of the tower, and the magical storm that seemed to batter around him, knocking orcs flying, is sort of compressed back into his body. A dark-skinned tiefling sorceress looks at him with disdain and sort of sneers. Did you really think you could win? And she's clearly the battlemaster commanding this sorceress tower, and there's sorcerers around her to protect her, aid the battle for her to command. And she sort of revels in his pain as she slowly lays some sort of hex on him that visibly drains his constitution. He looks visibly weaker. The Golden Warrior sort of remains silent, and his head sort of goes down. Have you nothing to say? She sort of spits. And one of the nearby sorcerers sort of says, Great One, he is muttering. Muttering, she sort of muses. And suddenly the paladin's head snaps up, lightning now gushing from his eyes. in a sort of deadly display of raw power. And very quickly, she's like, "Kill him! Kill him quick!" And like suddenly, he's shouting over her, "By the light, aid my plight!" And electrical energy literally transforms into divine light from the heavens, and it begins to pour out of the paladin's eyes, nose, mouth, and soon through his very skin. And the explosion is beyond explanation. The explosion wakes all of you up, as it is a very real explosion. And nearby, you see the advisor sort of sag, and he says, "The Fortress of Light, it must have fallen."
Right.
Yeah, I think Rosie might have fallen off like wherever she was sat at that explosion.
On a
Just
stump.
sort of, yeah, like literally fall over backwards. Is it okay that she was making some arrows or something whilst keeping...
You were asleep. This has come to you in your dreams. You would guess, looking at the skies, that it's about 4, 5
Was I
a.m.
not keeping watch?
Oh yeah, sorry, you were, weren't you? Yep,
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
So
I was keeping
yeah,
watch.
you can be fletching if you like. Yep.
Okay. I think jumps up, looking over to where the city. Can we see like the explosion? Can we see light coming from?
You see
The
the
distance,
horizon light up, and almost like a dome of energy and like a small sort of like mushroom cloud come out the top.
What do we do now? I sort of turn to the advisor and just sort of say, "Who's in charge now? Is the king dead?"
The advisor says nothing. He just turns and
He's in shock.
makes his way back to the sergeant and the rest of his camp.
So we woke up to a like giant explosion.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
dreamed that whole sequence and
Yeah.
woke up when the explosion happened.
Yeah, Runo just start to. I guess it's just rope to bind his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started to nib on
Yeah.
it, like trying to. he doesn't want to have those anymore. He's trying to get loose.
Okay.
I sort of head over to Runo, and I just sort of give him a kind of a long stare and just sort of say, "Are you gonna stay with us? You're not going to run off?"
That depends on the situation. I just don't want to be bound if we get attacked.
I would.
You're not really much use to anyone with your hands bound like that.
Pardon?
What are you gonna say, Scrap?
No, you carry on.
Oh, I was just gonna say you're not much use to anyone with your hands bound like that.
Nope. And he starts to try it again to get just nib it off.
I sort of reach for the rope and just sort of start untying it very slowly.
It's like, thanks.
Don't make me regret it, all right?
So, like, how grateful are you, Runo? Would you like try and like give Dwayne a hug or something like that? Or?
Not that
Don't you
grateful.
dare.
You know, he's super.
Touch me.
He's kind of a pat on the shoulder thing. Like, really appreciate friends. And but
well,
yeah,
we're not friends, but
he doesn't run away. He actually
It's
stays
fine,
with
keep
them. But he was super uncomfortable being tied up when a big attack started to happen.
Okay. So now that you're untied, sort of the villagers are a little bit more nervous around you, and you hear whispers, and like some of them sort of say things like, "I hear tieflings can cause flames where they point their fingers," and lots of things like this, and yeah, generally people are a bit more cautious around you now.
Yeah, he
Can I
doesn't like.
can I stomp over?
Can you?
I stomp over to those villagers?
It's not really a select group. It's just sort of like now you sort of hear after someone's passed these sort of
Alright,
mutterings.
it's just like a muttering.
Yeah, but by the time you turn around, like everyone just like points at each other or just walks off, or like.
You know what? If I hear any more villagers like whisper, and like Rosie, she was a what was she? What race?
A halfling.
Halfling.
Halfling. Yeah, I would just if villagers started to be afraid, I was just like, oh no, master, please don't hurt me. Wait, we're close. Without any warning, just
Okay.
just to trick the villagers.
So everyone is now awake after the explosion. The word from the advisor's tent is to keep moving. Don't see any reason for the plans to change. And soon everyone is marching again, or riding, or whatever they happen to be doing. You march for several hours, and it still looks to be about 4 a.m. And people are starting to talk.
They're starting to talk, did you say?
You hear
What
things like,
about-
"Why
Yeah.
shouldn't
No,
the
it's
sun
still
have
4 a.m.
shouldn't the sun have risen by now? We've been marching for hours."
Hmm.
Can
Can
I?
I roll like a check to see what's up with the sky? Or can I visibly see it? Is that like big black clouds or what's going on?
No, it literally it's still like starry night,
Okay.
very dark starry night. There's no moon.
Hmm.
Can Rosie again sort of not blend in, but just shift between people just to see if they're saying anything else at all?
Generally from the crowds, you just hear sort of fear. There's not a lot.
Okay.
There's nothing useful to be heard. Just people being concerned. Whilst you are doing that, Volta, you see Valak, the guardsman who was at the city, ride ahead and stop at the advisor's tent. Well, the advisor's group as they're marching.
Uh-huh. And then
Okay. If anyone else wants to act on that, they can.
So what was it? It was the
Valak,
sorry,
the guy in the city who took you to the king and sent you on this mission to go and help the villagers, and
okay.
wasn't like Gregor was definitely the Golden Knight who took charge, but Valak was sort of like the army style fighter clerk who was trying to handle
The
matters.
Laria one.
Not Larry, just trying to get his job done.
Okay.
I kind of push a couple of villagers aside and just sort of break them out of the way and just sort of stride up to Valak. Sort of say, what's going on?
So he looks at you and he sort of pauses for a long moment and then sort of says, I see no reason why you shouldn't hear this too. And he beckons your party to gather with the advisors. He sort of takes everyone aside and says, I do not want this to spread too far, for obvious reasons. But there is more to this than just the one army versus another. This is more than just a simple fight. The touch of the darkness kills, but not instantly kills. It doesn't kill you like an axe. And he sort of rolls his sleeve up. And you can see he's always wearing like a thick leather glove, but underneath all his flesh is sort of you can see the muscles and the skin sort of rotten on his bone. And he says, I was captured once, but I managed to escape before they turned me. This is
Does it hurt?
the darkness calls to it.
Wait. Turn? Do you... like living dead? Or...
Like
Dead.
undead?
I do not know. All I know is
Has it spread? Or...
I don't know. All I know is they make you into slaves out there. But not slaves that you pay for. Slaves
Even worse.
to death.
Why haven't you taken precautions in case it spreads?
I don't know. This is
That was a silly mistake.
this
wasn't
is
it?
this isn't a contagion. This is something they do to you.
So it hasn't spread at all. How was it? How were you attacked, if you see what I mean? Because we can't have you turning if something happens here.
When I was captured, a sorceress lady laid her hand on my wrist. And slowly
now-
my wrist and my hand decayed before my eyes. I saw her do a similar thing with other men. Good men. And now those men march behind the Black Hills in the Badlands, mining or sifting ash or whatever else they do on the other side of those mountains.
So it's not further than your arm where she touched.
Like I say, I managed to escape. One of my friends caused a scene which distracted her and the guards. And like a coward, I ran. And I have not
Well, if
seen
this
him
is
since.
magic, then we need magic to cure it, don't we?
I do not know of such things.
Well, just going by logic and from the very brief experience I have with it, I sort of turn to Renault and sort of just look. Is this the sort of thing?
I don't really use that kind of magic. No. Can't tell, sorry.
Is there anyone in the land that's experienced with dark magic, aside from those on the other side?
Like, do I deal with dark magic just because of my race, or is it something you actually have to learn?
No, you don't. The most you
Okay,
do is play with a bit of fire. That's
Yeah, good.
That's-
Because I want to know if I'm actually lying.
yeah. No, you don't. And
Well, you don't know.
Valak sort of looks at
He
you.
just think it's being racist.
Valak sort of looks at you, Dwayne, and says, anyone dealing with dark magic or trying to learn about dark magic would be burnt at the stake. There'd be mobs.
But in this situation, don't you think they'd be a little useful with helping us solve whatever they do to you?
Like, surely you have researchers who look into the enemy you're fighting. They must have some form of information on them.
Anyone who goes over those Black Hills does not return.
So,
So
what's
what
the
do we
plan
do
then?
now?
That was in character, by the way.
So what is the plan? Are we just gonna?
We need to know where our enemy are and how they are moving. I need scouts to look east to the nearby villages. We've got Skegbeak to the east, and even New Haven, where we know they originally breached.
I can volunteer as a scout.
You will need a group.
I think
Oh.
Rosie looks at
On
him.
your
Wow, that was quick. Like just volunteering.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, Runa was very fast with that mission.
Yeah,
Sort of
so
sounded a bit
It's
disappointed when he heard it was a group. He was like, "Oh,
Runo, would you like to roll your deception just to see how well you cover this? Like,
at the moment.
Oh, here we go.
okay, give me a second."
yeah. I'd hate for your character to suffer if you can't keep a straight face, you know.
Yeah.
Bad poker face.
Come on, you gotta do better than your last roll.
Okay, is it?
You can only do better than last roll, so
It was. Wait, give me a second.
straight out with intelligence.
On the left, you'll see deception in the skills column.
Correctly. Left, right from intelligence. Whatever
Was
it is.
it Constitution or
No.
Charisma?
So
Deception.
on your thing below those strength, dexterity, constitution, you'll see acrobatics, animal handling, and the fifth one down is deception, in which you have a 3.
Wow.
Oh dear, I don't see it. Give me a second.
You got your intelligence square.
If you
I
like,
got
Right
intelligence.
of that.
Yeah,
Right
and then
on
go right into
To
the
go right on that.
little
Oh, there.
boxes.
Box.
And uh,
Directly below intelligence and athletics or whatever. You wanna.
investigation, medicine, nature, perception,
Above that.
performance,
up.
investigation,
Up.
intimidation, insight, history, deception.
There
Deception.
you
you
go, deception.
Yeah.
Deception. Okay, there we go. Normal.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Why?
Um,
Why?
That wasn't worse because you
We
got the
just,
bonus.
I just sort of pick the rope back up that
can
I
I
used
just
to
glance
untie you.
sideways? Like,
You were
what
linked
the hell?
I just sort of casually hold the rope back up and give you a long stare, like.
It's like, what? I just wanna help people.
You had your chance. Put the rope back on.
Nope.
Can we wrestle him to the ground?
So as
Well, I can.
Yeah.
as Runo has done this, and you three have sort of stepped forward to try and pull her back, Valak takes this as you've all volunteered.
Oh, for stuff.
So he says, "Thank you, my friends. It's good
You're
to see
welcome.
noble
Wait,
heroes ready
How
to
you proud
aid
of me being in a scout?
their crown." Oh, that's going to be fun.
Stealth.
Not my forte.
We need you to sneak to Skegbeak to the northeast and see if the armies are there, and if they are not there, head east along the road until you get to New Haven. Should you see the armies, do not try to engage. Just run. We will continue marching to Fort Yondon, and we will meet you there. By the
I
time,
thought you weren't enough.
sorry, Alice, you broke up.
Sorry, I thought you weren't trained. I thought you said we weren't trained enough.
We
You're
just lost our entire army. You are now probably the
That's a shame.
most trained people here.
oh well, we're
Oh,
screwed.
dear. Well,
Well, I can train.
okay, like
do we get some kind of weapons? I mean,
you get
We'll need
nothing. Go
provisions
sit back
for
down.
So
I just
Runo,
sort of look Valcuster
Well-
in the eye.
well, if you give me nothing, expect nothing.
Valak sort of looks at you and sees that you have no weapons at all compared to your companions, who at least well, Volta, who is bedecked in weapons, Dwayne, who has her like club thing, and Rosie carrying her father's bow, and
Does it say that as well on the bow, fathers?
Property
Daddies.
of.
Yeah, it is.
and he sort of sees that you have nothing, and he sort of under his breath sort of says, I thought you people could just create fire, but and he just passes you a dagger.
Okay. This
He
will
just
do.
gives you a stick off the ground.
Just sort of, can
I
Rosie
sort of
sort of
look
do a
Volta in the
gesture?
eye and
Rosie sort of do a gesture if you know, like the "I'm watching you" thing, sort of. To
Yeah, Runa
Bruno
is just
and then
like,
walk past him.
Runa is just like,
I give Vulcan sort of another long stare and just sort of say, okay, if we're doing this, we'll need more than just these weapons. What other provisions have you got that we can have?
I agree.
He says we don't have much, but
They say nothing.
anything you think you would need, you could take from the quartermaster. He will supply you. But remember, you
We
are.
need the advisor's horse.
In particular, that one.
He just asks you to remember that you are scouting. Try not to be seen. Try not to make
You
too
want
much
us
noise.
to move quickly.
And you want me with that? Are you sure of
You can be the
We'll ju-
distraction.
We'll just put you up on a tree.
You can be the distraction.
We'll just stick you up a tree. You can pop your
This
head
guy's
out.
as a tree and use me as a tree.
So yeah, he gives you all horses from the guards, and you are sent.
How big are these horses, considering we're halflings?
So the two of you are sharing one.
Oh.
So Dwayne,
I'm in the front.
Dwayne,
I'll
and
get the back so I can draw my bow if needs be. So
Well, one can ride and one can shoot.
yeah, but see now this is the
it's like
thing.
a Shetland pony to it.
So yeah, this that's exactly what I was going to say. Where the horse looks massive on you, the same horse looks tiny on you, Volta. Like your knees are like right up in the stirrups, like almost up to your shoulders, sort of thing, and you're sort of holding the reins way down here, like.
But I can't see you, dude, so that's really doesn't help.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. Imagine what I was doing. Yeah.
Out of
Oh, dear.
curiosity, how tall are the hobbits?
I can't remember how tall I am.
Hobbit?
Short ass.
3'9".
I think I'm like 2 foot something. Like I'm proper small.
You're basically a gnome.
Diddy.
So approximately a quarter to a half of your size, Ed.
So like in real life, Ed.
Not really. Walter is taller than me.
Okay, so
Wow.
you head east, and you can see as you approach Skeg Beak that it has been that like the walls are torn down. The Army of Darkness has definitely been here. But saying that, it's not like there are patrols going around, and there's not a lot going on in the way of movement. You can see the occasional torch, but it doesn't look like a place where an army is holding up for the night.
Can I get a closer look? Sort of jump off the horse and I don't know. Well, if there's no city walls, are there? Like they've all been pulled down.
Yes, they have been pulled down.
Okay. Well, can I sort of use that as cover to have a sort of look around to see if there's anything?
Okay, so is the
there.
party splitting?
I think so.
I think it's more I'm just having a quick look ahead to see if it's all right for everyone else. Like I'm not going into the city to explore. I just want to make sure there's no, I don't know, massive killer army in there having a snooze.
Okay, so you sort of creep up to the wall and you look around, and there's no visible armies around. There are a few drunk orcs who have clearly looted the tavern, and by looted, like there's big holes in the wall, there's furniture outside, and barrels tipped over in the street. There's also lights on in some of the bigger mansions on top of the hill in this small village.
Okay. I sort of run back to the others and tell them what you've just told me of what I've seen, and just say that there doesn't appear to be an army, but there's definitely orcs left over, I'd say, just to keep it. So I don't know what you want to do.
Well, we were told not to engage. We were told to just lurk and go on. So there's nothing more we can do here. If we kill the orcs, we'd either raise the alarm or just more would wonder where they'd all gone and they come back. So we might as well move on.
This is true. I think Rosie looks to everyone and just sort of says, are we all agreed to move on? Or do we have enough supplies to keep us going? Or is this like
You have enough
good
supplies to keep you
opportunity?
going, but you feel like maybe Valak was expecting a bit more than orcs are here. Like if you could figure out where the army was, that would be very valuable information for defending Fort Yonder.
Okay, can we sort of just investigate the area, see, I don't know, footprints, broken, anything, any signs?
Yeah, sure. Give me an investigation check.
All right. Is it there? It is. Investigation. Wait. Ugh. Sorry. Okay. Submit. Okay, 10.
Okay, so on a 10, you can see that some of the orcs have got slightly nicer armor than you'd expect. It's not like your usual run-of-the-mill, harsh, quick forged stuff that you see on orcs. It's quite shiny and decorative, and quite a few of them have a symbol on their shoulder, which is like a moon in red, dripping in blood.
So they're being funded effectively. They're fighting for someone. It's not just
funded or hired.
Yeah, it's more calculated than anything else.
I tell everyone what I saw, so so they know.
How drunk are some of the other orcs? Like, because I know some of them looted the tavern.
Give us another investigation check.
Okay, hang on. Oh.
I'm ready.
Ooh.
Oh.
Someone's got the dice.
So some of them are sort of snoring. One or two are still leaning over barrels, but they're not singing. They're just sort of like talking with mugs in their hands.
So super drunk or not drunk enough?
Can I creep a little bit closer to like hear what they're saying? Like quite small, duck behind everything and sneak basically.
Okay, so yes, you can. And you sort of hear these two gruff orcs. I'll do my best gruff orc. Saying, that's what they said. Ugdoff and Milverfen. They're right up there in that house talking about it now. Oh yeah. But what about the rest of the army? Don't you worry about that. That's for Ugdoff to worry about. What we need to do is just protect this here command post. And with that, one of them sort of perks up and sort of turns to your direction.
Okay. I hide. Like I duck down very
Give us
quickly.
a sneak check.
So what am I rolling for that? Sorry.
Sneak.
What the hell is
Stealth.
sneak?
Stealth.
Oh, stealth.
Stealth.
That's what I say.
Stealth, sneak, same
Make a
difference.
sneak check.
Well,
Make
we
a
have to be
sneak.
kind of precise as Graticus
Oh,
I just
I call that a good roll.
Oh wow!
So
I just
Um,
turn invisible.
he like takes his mug and strolls over, and he's standing like a foot from you, like sort of going.
Yeah.
I'm pissing on you.
I stealth too good for that to happen.
And he sort of walks back and says, "I reckon this ale just smells funny."
And you smell funny.
His ears sort of perk up, like. "Ugh."
And I stealth again.
So, are you sneaking back to relay your information?
I will do. So I get back to the guys and I sort of relay what I've heard. It looks like we're going to have to go into the house to actually find out where the army are going. Now, we're going to need a plan for that because some of us aren't the stealthiest. Like, just as a heads up. I'm wondering how much...
I sort of give Walter a look.
Yeah,
sorry,
Volta, though, how much do you look like an orc? Like, 'cause I know you're half orc, half human, aren't you?
Well, I got
Does
grey
anyone have any
skin.
green paint?
I got grey skin.
There is an abundance of ash from a nearby burnt building available.
You're
I
just
think
going to
that's
cover in stone.
So we're just gonna make me darker then, or what?
I'm wondering if we can create a distraction. I don't know, because that would alert the people in the house anyway. Because I could try sneak in. But...
I can give it a try.
You do also notice a
Or-
couple of tieflings in armor around.
I was about to say, hang on, we've
Oh,
got
dear.
a tiefling. Do we let an orc and a tiefling walk in there and try and...
A thief and orc walked in the bar.
Yeah, there you go. That is effectively what you're going to be doing. You'll be going into a
And
tavern.
then murder.
So I don't know
Maybe
if we could
pretend
do-
there's
Yeah.
maybe pretend there's like some much better ale in a building further down,
And then even if
and try
Like-
and convince them.
Dwell and I could sneak past or something, because we're much...
Well, we could calculate
But-
how many they are.
There is actually something I need you guys to know. I don't have a
God, what?
poker face.
Oh no!
Oh God. Oh God.
As you might have noticed.
You
did
will
that
do no
before.
talking. You were doing no talking. I just sort of give her a very long stare.
I don't like
Walter
the
will do
idea
all
that
of the
I will be the
talking,
first
you do
one
not
they
get
attack
involved.
if they discover us.
Yeah, well, they might be. You might be the first they attacked, but they will be the first ones to die.
Or is another option. Volta walks in with us as his prisoners,
Do they take prisoners? Is the question.
or someone as... It depends. I don't know. It's purely because some of us aren't very sneaky. Do
Well-
we
Well, I'm
do
not sneaky
a distraction so people chase you guys whilst we get in? I
Well,
don't
the
know.
thing
I
is,
could
we
always
still
lead the
we
way.
still need. We can always be as sneaky as we want. We can be as, I don't know, dressed up as we want, but we still need to get the information out of them.
Regardless. Right.
I could lead some of them away. Or
That's what I'm thinking. If we can get rid of the ones that are guarding... Sorry, Adam, is it like a house, or are there just some in the house?
Sorry, say again. You broke up again.
Are they guarding the house, or are they all in the house? How many are sort of, from when I went in there, what can I see?
So this looks very much like a spoils of war place. It doesn't look like it's being heavily guarded. This looks more like a celebration.
Okay. So
They're clearly here to guard the people in the house, but they're all drinking and chatting.
we might be able to sneak past then, I'm guessing, and then we'll have to blag it if... Oh, God.
Oh, okay. Here's my suggestion. If we two dress up as one of the guards, we distract them, you sneak past them into the house, and just eavesdrop.
We'll have to do something like that then. So what, Volta and Runo we need to somehow dispose of 2 guards, basically, and get you in their armor.
Are there any orcs my size?
The short
You'll be in
answer
really
is
oversized armor.
the short answer
I
is
am-
no, but
Not surprised.
you could sort of
It would hide your face as well a bit more.
you
'cause it's
you could probably
oversized.
find a helmet that fits, and you know, I reckon a tall orc like you, any armorer would struggle. So you probably wouldn't look too out of place if it was a little bit ill-fitting.
Yeah. Okay.
So the chain mail doesn't work then? Question mark.
Well, to be fair,
Because
you
I
could
would
just
have-
try and take one of their tabards and cover your own armor in it.
Precisely.
It's a bit brighter, but
Because-
like I say,
Because the thing is, if we're gonna need to fight, and I'm not wearing a properly suited armor, it will be cumbersome. It really will strain my movements, and that might be a ill-advised situation. That I don't really like.
so guys, I have to press you for a decision.
Like, does all of them have the same uniform, or does everyone have their all individual sort of battle armor?
So they're all sort of a bit ragtag. Like their armor looks of better quality, but there's not like a uniform. The only thing to mark them as a fist of orcs is this red moon with the dripping blood.
Okay, because I'm thinking
Are
Like,
they having tabards?
Sorry.
Or is it how are the armor marked with the red moon?
Some has a some have a
Painted or-
tabard with the red moon on. Others sort of have it like on a leather tunic, just sort of like cut into the leather and dyed.
Yeah, right.
So
Because
it's a
sealing
mix and
tabard
match.
should be easy enough.
So can we just make the symbol on our own clothes?
with our
or
blood.
Yeah, I suppose you could. It might be a little bit difficult. Your clothes are significantly lighter than theirs. Theirs are all hues
Okay.
of black and grey.
Oh, I didn't necessarily mean like mine, because I'm. They're
You're not an
gonna
orc.
spot I'm not an orc, unless Ali and I put on a really long coat and try and do it that
Oh, please
Yeah.
Seven
do
dwarves
that.
kind of
way.
thing.
Just try and do it that way.
That was amazing.
Still too short though.
Roll difficulties going up.
Shall we do it?
Oh, that would make my day.
Well, is there any orc with a tabard or any thiefing as well? I guess.
Yeah, you
That-
can see
Or for its own.
probably 2 or 3 likely targets scattered around the
Area.
the streets outside this tavern. None of you
Is
have
there
been
any
able.
of them near us? If you see what I mean.
Yeah, there are some. There are some which, like I say, when I say likely targets, they're within a good distance. You could
Okay.
probably, they're snoring, so you could probably, if you do it without being seen, dispatch them quite stealthily.
Mm.
Well, the thing I'm gonna remove my tabard anyways, because that's just gonna be a sore eye anyways, and sore eyes anyways.
Mhm.
So I will become less obvious, and then I will try to dispatch an orc or thiefling with a tabard to take us home.
Okay.
Can I try? I don't know. How would people feel if I tried to shoot one of the sleeping orcs from a distance?
How good of
Stealthily.
I think
how
it would
good
be
of-
easier
are you?
if you just a bit stealthily just went towards one of the sleeping guards and just
Because that's the thing, I
Okay.
don't know whether to do it from a distance so that if someone comes running around the corner, they don't know. Are there other orcs' bodies like dead around anyway if there's been a battle?
There are no dead. Only
Okay.
humans. No, not even the humans. There's not even human corpses around.
Okay.
None.
Can I stealth towards a sleeping one?
Mhm.
And I want to try in one swift movement sort of slit his throat and cover his mouth at the same time so it doesn't make any sound.
I believe Volta
Yeah.
was trying to do the same thing, weren't you?
Badass good girl.
Yeah, that's a really difficult and bold move, but if it works, it's good.
But I'm small. I think it's more that I might be able to hide really quickly and move quite quickly. I could wing it, right?
Ooh, that's a dangerous plan, but you know, you do you.
Are people
I
all
think
right
we
with
should
that?
do-
Like my actual
Yeah.
character is like, guys, do you want me to do this or not?
We should do this, and we can probably take care of if it goes south. So let's
Okay.
give it a
But
go.
the thing is, if it goes south, it might be going real fast.
Can I sneak to the first sleeping one and try and do exactly that?
So please give me a stealth roll for approaching the orc who is in the middle of the street.
Oh, let's make this interesting.
He's
Where
amazing.
you
He's
gonna-
about to do it.
Oh,
He's
Oh
really
dear.
amazing.
So on a 14, you sort of clumsily make your way up to the side of the tavern. And you've not raised any alarm, but you knew this wasn't your best moment for sneaking, so you went to the tavern rather than straight to the corpse.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm already referring to it as a corpse. This is assuming you're going to kill it.
Oh, I will. Give me time.
Don't you worry. This is a hobby to
Okay,
the
is he relaxed? Is he guarding? Hang on. Is this the sleeping one? Because I did ask for a sleeping one.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
He's sleeping. Okay. Just check that there's no one else around that's going to sneak up on me and try again effectively.
Do me an investigation check.
Investigation. Where is
my gosh.
investigation? There we
It's
go.
straight from wisdom.
There we go.
I love how she asked that. I asked for a sleeping one. I asked for one with no soul.
I asked for a
Please.
sleeping one. God damn it.
So
Well, you never know them.
Send it back.
on a
DM, you know.
10, you see the two orcs that you previously snuck up on,
Okay.
and you see some light coming from the tavern door.
So whereabouts is the sleeping orc in relation to the tavern door?
So you are standing to the side of the tavern.
Mm.
If you were facing the street, the two orcs are further up to the right. The orc is pretty much directly in front of you, and the tavern door is facing the street. The tavern's probably about 20-25 feet long, and one of the walls has been slightly caved in.
Okay. Dwayle's frantically typing Morse code in the background.
Yeah.
Don't know. Oh, what the hell? Let's go try just kill him.
Are you stealthing out, or are you running out like a mad crazy?
Oh, I'm stealthing.
The way you said,
What was the plan, Pat?
"What the hell? Let's just kill him." You know, what am I to think? So,
Sort of really like delicately trying to avoid all the light and try and stick to the shadows.
so give me a stealth roll.
Really do it. Ugh, okay.
You're
I
gonna
believe in
run
you.
out of lucky stealth rolls in a second.
Well, 14
There's
and 10
only
is
so
not
many
high, so.
lucky stealth rolls.
Boom!
you go.
Oh,
What the? You're just like,
Batman.
Family, that's how you do it.
oh my gosh, there's like 100 in stealth in Skyrim. You just like crouch
So-
down and you're
just-
invisible.
yeah, you've put on the Mask of the Grey Fox, and
Assassin's Creeding that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Hit that button and got nothing on you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you sort of get down and you sort of army crawl along the floor and sort of like do a little roll behind the orc.
Can I have like the soot as war paint on my face as well, please?
I tell you what, as you roll, like a print comes across your face that looks like one of them, like camouflage, like
yeah,
makeup
just
sets, like just falls on your face, and you roll over with your knife drawn, ready to make a killing blow.
Okay, and I just really want to do it in one swift movement. So hand over the mouth, slice throat, done.
So please click on your dagger.
Okay. Oh god.
Now here comes the
Oh,
important
this is
question.
okay.
The bow.
I'm so excited.
Oh, I should have used a bow. Yes.
Oh, 19.
Slash.
And he's asleep.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll give you a natural
That's advantage, isn't it?
crit on that one.
Boom.
On the damage, I mean, because 3 is piss poor. So give us another 1d6 plus 2.
Oh god, hang on. How am I
Oh,
doing
it's full
this?
damage as well, so it's...
Sorry, I'll roll it.
Yeah, okay, thank you. It might take me a while.
But can't you click the little box after your...
Oh, what I get? What I get?
So
Oh,
you,
Such an advantage.
that'll do. You sort of slice his throat neatly, and he sort of, his eyes come wide, and he looks at you, and he's about to raise the alarm.
I wave and make sure he dies.
He's looking at you, and he's about to shout, and you wave.
My hand's over his mouth.
Not yet. It's not.
Yeah, like a
No, but I said I wanted in one swift movement to have hand over his mouth, and
He did.
Oh, okay. I'll let you off.
otherwise I wouldn't wave.
So he sort of looks at you, and you see the light sort of drain from his eyes.
Sorry, you broke up. What was that?
You sort of, he looks to you, and you see the light just sort of slowly drain from his eyes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I close his eyes again to make it look like he's still sleeping.
You know, just ignore the pool of blood on the table.
Oh no, I'll just put some. I'll put some of the rubble and stuff like around it. Like I'll put like some of his clothes or whatever he's left around it.
What?
I don't really want to strip him in the middle of the street.
Wow.
So if one of you guys could come along, that'd be great. And put it on.
And you need to strip the tabard.
It's just. Is it just the tabard we need?
That's all you need.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
To begin with,
But
then I
can I
go in.
just take it off with ease, or do I have to like cut it up the
Probably.
sides and pull it off like a swift tablecloth movement?
What would you like to do?
I want to
You should be able
see
to
how
try.
easy
Oh, no.
it is to just take off, but I have a feeling you're going to be mean. So
But he is scratch.
exactly. Like, can I cut the tabard down the sides and like take it off and then rush back?
I think you
to the
could do that.
guy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So you cut down the sides.
I chuck it at Volta.
No,
There
you
go.
take your dagger and you cut down the sides. Then you make a quick athletics check for you to rip it out.
Oh God! Hang on.
How does your tabas work? That's not how my tabas looks in my world.
There you go.
Sort of like over the top, tied at the sides.
Cartwheeled out of there.
What's up with you today?
I just cartwheeled out of there.
So Alice, you really put your back into that rip, and you tear the tabard as it comes off.
What? I got a good roll.
Yeah, good rolls can be bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too much strength behind that.
It's all right. We'll make it a fashion statement, Volta. So you can.
Okay, so you sort of bring back Volta this half tabard that's sort of ripped and cut in places, and offer it to him.
My question is, of all the orcs or enemies, seedlings we have seen, have anyone have a broken tabard?
Just wing it. Say I'm really sorry, boss. But
Generally, they
I
look
got caught.
quite neat.
Come again, Scratch?
Oh, hello. Thank you for the follow.
I didn't hear you, Scratch, because
Generally, they all look quite neat.
all right.
Ah.
So it's not really gonna pass then. Well, I will use it, but then I will find a whole tabard instead, so to speak. I will do the same maneuver as Alice. I can't remember your name now.
Rosie.
Rosie, there you go.
So you're going to go in and kill one and take his tabard?
Yes.
Well, this is going to be
but
less sneaky.
Let's not be a whole tabard from it.
Can I hide, please, just to watch the chaos that's about to ensue?
So if you would like, if you don't need the stealthy group to help steal the tabards, you could split and let Volta and Runo, yeah, stay and take tabards and sneak around and try and blend in, whilst you sneak up to the house.
Yeah, I'll go for the house. Yeah, sounds good. Team Hobbit, go.
We'll go for that.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so
I
you
just want to
two,
point out I have like 2 in stealth.
awesome.
Well, this is going to be fun. Okay, I want to try and stealth. Can I look around the actual building, see if there's another way in, like a smaller way in, like a servant's entrance, or a very convenient halfling-sized door? Or something.
So you,
Like a dog
Or
door.
like a half-open window.
so
yeah, exactly.
we're-
Just sliding.
actually, as you are going to investigate that, you two sneak around the back of the tavern, and we're actually going to stay with Volta and Runo.
Okay.
As Volta is sneaking
Okay.
in to try and take a
I can't
tabard
wait for this.
off of an orc. Now Rosie has taken the easy option away from you. The closest orc is down, so the next orc is a little way further up the road in front of the tavern. How are you going to approach this? Are you going to sneak, or maybe
Well, he is alone, right? And he's awake.
he's snoring, so he's potentially asleep.
Snoring, right?
But there are 2 guys who are awake at the end of the street, and none of you have seen inside the tavern yet and what the tavern holds.
Can I ask what's the plan here?
Take a
Oh,
tabard.
yes.
We need more tabards. We need a whole tabards, not 2.
That should be a quote, definitely. What's the plan here? We need more tabards.
Somewhere Valak is screaming.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna rush in and
No,
the
not.
patch
We never
from-
rush. We never rush.
we're just gonna stroll in, you know.
Calculated battle always wins.
Okay, I'm a bit confused.
The 2 dudes up the street, can we get to them with ease without them seeing us too much?
So if you're both going, I'd like a stealth roll from both of you.
No, that's not what I'm trying to do. That's what do you see a way to them so I can get to them closer without them seeing me?
Oh, okay. So like you can head up to the wall, maybe head up to the side of the building, like Alice, like Rosie
something
did.
like that.
You'll still need a
Yeah,
stealth roll, but it'll
or
be an easy.
Or a second street in Thailand coming up to them somehow.
Oh, okay. So like around the back of the tavern, the way that Rosie and Dwayne went, there is like a small alley there. If you give me an investigation
I'm
check.
not entirely sure
A
how
small
well
alley.
or whatever.
Yeah, that's how I had it.
So if you give me an investigation check.
Yay.
Oh no! Oh,
Have you both gone?
oh, that's just.
Did you
I'm
both go?
sorry, mate. No, I think I would stay.
No, Albo.
So Ed, you are on this like little side alley, and there are some like doors and things around you, but there's nothing screaming out to you, "Hey, look at me! I'm a good idea."
Right. Not sure what you. Okay. Go for it.
So
The thing is, I'm trying to get them to them as little seen as possible.
so the it looks like this alley will sort of lead round to where the 2 orcs are at the end of the street. If you wanted
Yeah.
to maybe try and get the drop on those 2, but in
Yeah.
terms of getting a tabard, it's probably not your best option.
Precisely. The thing is, are those the only 3 orcs we can see, or whatever enemies?
There are 2 orcs at the end. There's the 1 orc there sleeping. There's also a couple of
Yeah.
tieflings slumped over a barrel, slightly on the other side of the street from the tavern.
Can all the orcs see each other? Can everybody see?
I wouldn't say they can see all the time. They're definitely not out of view, but it very much depends on which way they're sort of looking. So if they're not exactly facing straight on with the street, like they're keeping watch, they're more sort of turned towards each other and sort of having conversations. So they're definitely not in eye line, but they're not out of view, if you know what I mean.
Okay. I think. I got a really good plan here then.
Bruno?
You're not telling me to do anything about it.
Yeah, I didn't follow him.
I know.
But I didn't go anywhere in
Oh.
my world then anyways.
No,
I'm
you
not
just
sure
you
what
just
it-
took a sort of look down this alley.
Okay. So you didn't leave. You're
No.
still like around here.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm also sort of out of ideas.
So we can
I
only
think.
see 5 people anyways. So 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see 5 now, and obviously the 6th corpse bleeding all over
but
the
it
ground.
doesn't count. It doesn't count.
No.
Alive is what we're looking for anyways. So.
Are these all the gods like in the small village?
There may be more in other areas, but these are the closest to the broken section of wall.
All right.
And from what Rosie told you, they seemed quite chatty, like they seem to know their stuff.
Okay. So there was no one sort of alone or yeah, everyone is with someone else.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Then this is a bad idea, Bruno thinks, and just sort of like, come back. Come back. This is he doesn't like stealth. It's not his area.
So
Do you come back?
Callie
Well,
sneaks
they
up
haven't done anything
also.
anyway, so.
She's followed your group, and she comes up behind you guys and says, what are you doing?
What are we doing?
What's with all this sneaking around? Why don't we just kill them?
Well, I'm the only one here, and there are potentially more numbers than I like.
I only see 2 awake, and there's 3 of us.
Yeah. Now they are.
Wow.
But she only got
I'm
this dude
all
got a dagger. And this is thief only got a dagger anyways.
So Callie sort of like draws her great axe, like, we can do this.
Yes, let's do this.
Bruno's like, no.
Sit here, dude.
Wait, who's this?
Oh,
Come on,
so,
come on, giggles.
So, sorry, Scrat, who did you say draws her great axe?
Callie. Ed's
Oh, right,
companion.
My partner in crime.
right.
I know, I
Yes.
thought he said Ali and I thought it was speaking for you, Ali.
I was like,
all right, are you going in?
Okay,
Yes, we are.
so she sort of gestures to you to go down the alley, and she's sort of
Yeah.
looking to go down the other side, and you sort of jump them at the same sort of time.
We know what to do.
So when you get to
We
the end
are.
of the alley, you're looking across at them, and Callie blatantly strolls out onto the street with the axe slumped across her shoulders, and you know this is your cue to act.
I'm acting with my giant hammer.
So if you can give me an athletics check and then a damage roll.
Aesthetic. I take it.
So you
And
sprint
they
in.
damage.
Oh.
And give me a roll with advantage if you can.
Advantage, where is that?
Just roll twice if that's easier.
I guess. I don't know.
Oh no, sorry. On
Is
your weapon attack, I meant. And a second. Nice. So you, as she strolls in, and the 2 guards sort of go, "Hey, who's that?" You storm up from behind them and smash the back of their heads in with whichever weapon you see fit. I'm not sure if you drew your hammer or your sword. Hammer,
Well,
sorry, yep, hammer.
Was the chef's race?
It does say hammer. It does.
Yeah, exactly.
And this orc.
It does help to do blunt instead of slashing when you go around. I want to have a whole tabard as well. So.
The back of this orc's head just caves in as he just sort of flips forwards, and
I'm thinking Tarantino effects on that.
And as the other one turns, Callie just sort of casually dips a short sword into his side while he's completely surprised, and the orc just sort of blubbers and goes down
Baby.
slowly. You actually made surprisingly little noise during that encounter. No one around is alerted.
Bruno is like
How?
mixed feelings, really mixed feelings. First, super scared and think this is so stupid, and then it's like, yes, it worked. Yes.
Like, I can't
Oh
believe
my
it.
gosh.
So now you are standing there. There are a few more orcs sleeping on the ground, but you can also hear murmurs coming from the tavern. People are talking.
Okay. Can we distinct how many, or is it just a? I don't know what the word is.
Sounds like there's about a room full in there.
Okay.
Maybe 10 or 20.
20 ish.
Yeah, you can't see, but you can hear enough voices to know that it's definitely a party. It's not one or two.
Well, I'm getting my
I
tabard.
got a question.
Hit me
I've
with
got a
that.
question just since we be stealthing. This house, 1 floor or 2 floors?
2 floors. There are no lights on upstairs.
And where's the noise? There's no lights on upstairs, and so I'm guessing all the noise is coming from the ground floor, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Would I have to do an investigation check to see about any open windows? This is just for the future. I know we're focusing on the other half of our party right now.
So, sorry, what was your question?
Sorry, it was going to be for when it comes back to us. Am I going to do like an investigation check to see if there's like any open windows or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind.
So, Volta and Runo and Callie, you now have the pick of tabards on the street. It's easy for you to kill the others without being seen from the tavern inside, should you so wish. And
Let's do it.
brilliant.
I vote
So
for.
you dispatch these orcs, and you see some of them have got like lines on their shoulders, which, if these were members of the Army of Light, that would distinguish rank. But you're not sure what ranks, so it's not useful information to you, but they seem organized, if that's the general vibe you're getting.
That's the information I'm getting from it.
So now you get your tabards and stuff, and you can choose to either listen at the tavern and make sure that no one goes up to the house, or to try and mingle.
Ooh.
Try and mingle.
Oh god.
What race is Callie anyways?
Beg your pardon?
We're so doomed.
What race is Callie?
This is why
she's
you and
human.
stick together to work.
But she is of
I know
the,
that's right.
she's of the same size of she's a human, but she's of the same size of some of the orcs. So if she puts on full plate mail and a helmet, she almost looks like an orc.
Right. Are there any female orcs as you know it in the army?
Difficult to distinguish, but yes.
Bow, bow, bow.
Chico, wow.
That was not the question, girls, but okay.
Yes, there are female orcs. They're difficult to distinguish because they're all rather. There's a lot of muscular prowess going on.
Yeah.
But they are female.
But so is Callie, so she would be able to pass it.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'm guessing eavesdropping on the tavern then.
So eavesdrop rather than mingle? Is that a group decision?
Well, to start with, anyways.
Okay, but we still use our disguises.
Okay, so you'll put your disguise on and you listen at the doors and you just sort of hear them mumbling in there, saying, "So, where are we attacking again tomorrow?" And the other one's like, and you can't really hear quite everything.
Okay.
And
Okay, so we.
this one guy's particularly loud, and he's like, "Yeah, come on, guys, let's have more drinks because tomorrow we've got to go to that place." Yeah.
And Yeah, I assume
Oh,
we
no,
don't
that
get
was-
much information from that.
No, but they are
Just
clearly
that place.
talking about. You sound like some of the other guys are sort of sitting there. You might catch one like, "Would you just shut up, Dakin?" Like that sort of thing. But you feel like other people in the room might know more than him, but he's just particularly loud.
Okay.
You can peek through a window if you like.
Oh no.
I am.
Really? I think it.
Yep,
I
I'm gonna
think it
peek.
would.
Give
I
me
think it would
a.
be easier to just go in there.
Well, check out how it looks before we go in.
Are you trying to do it stealthily, or are you
No,
just?
wait, hold on.
Suspicious.
Wait, no. Hold on. Volta, how tall are you?
8
I was
feet.
gonna- You just have to lay on the
Right.
floor if you want to pass underneath it.
No. We're gonna. How about, because the top floor is completely clear, it's pitch black. There's no one up there. We might as well try and get into the top floor.
Can we just
See if there's
climb
any
you?
information up
Climb
there.
in.
Unfortunately, you are
Yeah, that's what-
nowhere
if-
near close enough to
if you
relay
could
this
disappear.
information, Dwayne. So
Fine. Can I really sneak it?
so Volta, how would you like to peek through the window? Are you going to do a little sneaky peek, or are you just going to quite
God.
confidently look around?
Well, my plan is to walk by and look through it.
Okay, give me a
Oh yeah. Don't mind me, just passing through.
Seriously.
give me a performance check.
What if you walk confidently enough? No one will question you.
I'll take it.
So Ed nonchalantly strolls past in almost an orcish sort of march, and you can see there's an empty table very close to the door, and this guy is sort of standing and like shouting at people, and everyone else is sort of huddled towards the back around a cask. There's maybe 6 of them back there, but they look like they're playing cards and like trying to have a quiet conversation, and this guy's clearly ignoring them.
Oh,
There may
he's the
be
rude one.
you would probably
The drunk
determine from this there's a lot to be gained from mingling in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm wanted to know before we go in, because feel the room.
You've got a feeling.
I got a feeling, and I'm gonna go in and mingle.
Is it a good feeling?
Well, I'm gonna go in and mingle, so
Oh,
you
okay.
take it like you want.
Do you tell me you're gonna go in and mingle, or are you
Well,
just like
obviously.
ignoring me and walks in?
Well, let's go in and mingle.
Okay, so
Oh.
if I can get a performance check from both of you, and I'll roll one
Oh,
for
Okay.
Callie.
God.
Stop. Shut up.
Got no poker face. This is
Yeah,
Performance. There
from
we
the
go.
number and wisdom.
Dwell outside, like, I don't believe that man's
Oh.
ever been to
Oh, I'm
acting
actually
school.
quite.
He
So-
just puts on a real Cockney accent.
The
by
two of
accident.
you, so Volta
Oh, wow,
and
20.
Volta and Callie sort of like just go in and sit down. But you, Bruno, sort of become the I don't know. You have
Shakespeare.
convincingly become like you give off a presence like a high-ranking soldier, like a sergeant, as you walk in. And as you sit down, Dakin sort of goes quiet and decides to leave.
Who?
The rude dude.
The loud one.
Oh, it's like do I did I just walk in and everyone was like, yeah, this guy? No.
Yeah, they're like I think that's a sergeant. You've picked up one of the tabards with one of the markings on, and they're like sort of a visible sort of comes over the room, and Dakin sort of looks and goes, "Oh, fuck!" Finishes his drink and just
Oh,
goes.
Oh,
I got a question though.
Mhm.
Weren't Rune a rock star
Yes,
in his?
yes, he was.
Shouldn't performance be a bonus for that?
I never said he was good at it.
I assume
It kind of sounded though like he was good. So
Yeah,
I'm
well, no,
gonna-
his partner was good. He was just part of the act.
Oh,
I
well,
assume like I noticed that
I'm going pro
people like sort of when they see me treat me with some respect. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like
Been tied up.
yeah.
So,
You got no respect
so as you come
from
in,
our
I got
group.
all the respect
the
now.
three of
From our
you,
group.
Finally.
That respect, you're right there.
the three of you take a seat, and it takes a while for the other people in the room to get used to this high-ranking sergeant being in. But after a while, conversation starts up again. You know, they've all had some alcohol; it's lowering their inhibitions. And after a little while, one of them sort of says, "So the 5th and 6th and 7th battalions are all set north of Fort Yondon, and the 3rd, 100th, and 50th are east of North Yondon, and we descend in 2 days on Yondon and wipe it out." And everyone goes, "That's pretty much my gist of the plan. We wipe them all out, leave no survivors. Well, leave no weak survivors. Anyone strong that we can capture, we take back to the Dead Mountain to try and turn." And that's where we're going to leave you guys.
Oh
Dun, dun, dun.
no.
We're going to go.
I was just about.
We're going to go up.
Before we
North
leave,
Day is not a good day.
We're going to go up
Can
to
I
the
ask-
hill. Go on.
did I make any friends? Did I like? did I make any friends? Did I actually?
So
Because
it's sort of a bit awkward because you're acting like a general, but also you don't want to talk too much because you might give away your lack of accent. It's sort of like, you know, in Inglorious Bastards when they're pretending to be German. It's
Yeah, okay.
sort of like
Uh-huh.
that tense sort of atmosphere where someone could be onto you at any minute. So you really don't want to make any friends. A friend is the last thing you want. But we're going to
It
leave.
would have been so funny if I found a thiefling that I could relate to and was like, yeah, fuck those humans.
So we're going to fly up the hill to the mansion where Rosie and Dwayne are sitting outside a lower window. You've gone to where the light is, and you can overhear a male and female voice talking. The female
Do they
voice
say any? Yeah, sorry.
says, "So, what was our yield from that southern town? What was his name again? Ugdak?" And he's like, "Ugdoff, woman, Ugdoff." And like as you hear him move, you hear sort of chains clink together, and he says, "Fox, love, ox, glove. I don't know. It's a place to the south. There were 3 able-bodied men. One, a blacksmith, who we managed to capture, and some others. They are on their way to the Dead Mountain now. Last I heard, they were stopping at New Haven before making their way north."
Rosie really tries to resist, like jumping up and just sort of, I don't know, just making a loud noise of "oh my god," but like
Dwayne
manages
has a very
to
tight
restrains it.
hold suddenly on her sleeve.
Sorry, say
Yes,
again.
like
But nope.
Say again,
I
Nally.
said Dwayne has a sudden very tight hold on Rosie's sleeve.
yeah,
Just
like she's
nope.
really trying to resist it,
Nope.
but at the same time, it's like, look, you know, that's got to be her brother. She's pretty sure of it. So
Suddenly the room goes quiet. It sounds like a different kind of silence, like the silence that follows after someone snuffs a candle. And a deep voice says, "So, you two, are the plans ready for the attack on Fort Yondon?" And they sort of in unison say, "Yes, my lord." And you hear chains clink as he bows. Excellent. We have had many to fuel the Dead Mountains fires. I expect a good yield tomorrow. And the silence sort of gets less silent again, like the room gets a little bit warmer again. And that's where we're going to leave you guys too.
okay.
You may
Fuck's sake!
you can have some reactions, but that's where we're going to leave you guys too.
Okay,
I
I was going to
charged
say,
through the
can I
window.
peek in? But I'm guessing I'm not allowed.
I
guessing
swing
I'm
my
doing the
hammer
thing.
into the window.
So Ali, you do that, and
No, I don't.
Yeah, I
yeah. Okay. So yeah, guys, that's where I plan to leave it tonight.
Awesome.
Aw.
You have
good.
you.
Bad guys.
I don't know how you feel about the choices you now have to make. Fort Yondon to the west, or your family to the east.
Oh, Jesus.
What family?
My family, god damn it.
Rose's family games, for fuck's sake. Get it together.
She doesn't matter. I'm gonna get my bear back.
Ah.
So let's just go around and see how you guys enjoyed that, how you're feeling, and tell us anything you want to tell us about yourselves. We'll start with Ed.
Well, I must say I wasn't really in the zone, so to speak, in the beginning there. So I was.
You sort of warmed to it.
overwhelmed.
You warmed to it as we went
Yeah.
on, definitely.
Precisely.
It takes practice.
But it's not the first RPG. But
Mhm.
I don't know what. I blame the cold.
You blame the cold. That's fair enough. We'll see Volta liven up with the coming weeks.
Precisely.
Ali,
Hello.
how you doing? How are you feeling?
Can't complain. Still trying to get my bear back.
Can't complain. Most average
No,
DM
yeah,
review ever.
just,
3 stars. Can't complain.
Let me think. Yeah, yeah, that'll be it. Yeah, no, I like the way the story's heading. Kind of the second, because obviously when we first started and you made it kind of clear that, in order to find out about the sorcerer and what happened to your mother and all this, you got to go to this city. And I was like, oh, sweet. And then we got to the city and I was kind of like, we've gotten here way too fast. And then lo and behold, the city blew up and I was like, God damn it. So now
No bear for you.
so now I have to find somewhere else to try and get my bear. But on the whole, yeah, like I'm looking forward to sort of I really like how it went today and sort of the choices that we've done and yeah, the opportunities that we've got next.
Lovely. Alice?
I really liked it, and like Ali said, liking the way it's going. I think we're all relaxing and working out our characters a bit more, and I kind of want to see where all the relationships go. Like
I enjoyed that part this week. I think a few of you started making more relationships together, like you and Dwayne and even Runo.
Unite together to piss off the authorities. Yes, that's what we do. But that's one of my favorite things about like stories, D&D, everything is the funny bits and relationships between the characters as it goes along. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it all goes and hopefully roll as well as I did this week next week. So that's probably a one-off and it's never going to happen again, and it's going to happen exactly when I need it to, when we get caught by these creepy people in the house or something, and I'll roll secret. So yeah, no, it was good. It was good.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least, Amby.
Yeah, everyone has already said that love where it's heading. And I think the key word here is trying to figure out the characters and starting to sort of gain relationships between them, because I think that's the most fun, and I can't wait until they actually trust Runo and trust them and not try to escape every opportunity he's get, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun playing him with people he actually wants to protect and be with. Love that. What else? I love the sneaky sort of, we're gonna blend in. Even if my character itself probably don't like it, I enjoy it. I really enjoy sort of
the winging it.
Yeah, the winging it. I loving it. It's been great. I love this.
Excellent.
We only can play a few hours a
That-
week.
And we need to watch this space, right, Ambly? I hear you're already nearly completing your first bit of Dead Mountain artwork.
Yeah, I am. I'm drawing
Oh.
official Runo art. So you guys can all see how he looks like. He's glorious, so fabulous. Can't wait to share it.
Oh,
And
I can't wait to see it.
if I have time, I will make everyone if I have time.
Oh.
Well, we do have more
Well, that's
artists.
dangerous territory.
I don't know if Ali or Alice will be doing any artwork as well, but you're certainly
I can give
pioneering
it
some. I'm sorry, Ali.
Ooh.
I'll give it a go.
All I heard was squeaking for a second. They're
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
it, I'll
I
give it a
said
go as well.
I said I'll give it a go.
Oh, Ali, you're so cute when you get angry.
It'd be quite cool to see all the different drawing styles
I
as
thought the
well.
picture
how
was
you
bigger.
interpret it.
Okay, well, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up here for now. But let's find someone to host for the next bit, because I am going to be going on Encounter Roleplay. My exciting news this week is that I've been taken on as a permanent cast member. So I'll be there every Thursday, which is a pretty big deal for me. I'm really happy about it.
Awesome.
So
So
we're
the question is, should we move our D&D night to a different day?
possibly we'll cover that in Discord.
Will that mean more hours of D&D if we do?
Exactly.
Quite possibly.
Yes, please.
Quite possibly. Yeah, we can write longer things. I did sort of have to shorten this one a little bit. I think I still found a reasonable cliffhanger to leave it on.
Well, if we can all find a day we like, I'm very happy to sit here for a good couple of hours and just play.
Yeah,
so.
Because having you stress off, so to speak, is
Yeah, I know,
Basically.
and I did deliberately try and finish a little bit earlier this
Yay,
time,
thank you, Rom.
so that we can so that we could have this little debrief afterwards. Because I know the first week I was literally just like, right, guys, that's it. That's where we're ending. See you later. Bye. You know, like,
now for something completely different.
yeah. I'm hosting
It
the
would-
place which I'm 10 minutes late to be at. There you go.
Yeah,
It would be nice to take more time with it
Yeah.
because I think we.
Okay, well, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we can look at
Exactly.
Tuesday or a
Getting
Wednesday
into
night or
it.
something, and we'll
Yeah.
replan the schedule. We'll plan that, and by Sunday we'll have a plan.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so like I
Yes,
say,
yes.
I was supposed to be looking for someone to host for the next 10 to 40 minutes.
We can talk for that.
So thank you very much, guys. I'll close.
Well, I do have one question though.
What's the
You
question?
did a roll
Let
When I
the
did that-
man speak.
when I did my second performance check. You did a roll.
Yes.
Is it normal for the GM to do a open roll again?
Yeah, I rolled for one of your player characters. I rolled for Callie.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So that's
Then
what that was.
but still,
Yeah.
I'm not used to having the GM doing open rolls.
Oh yeah. I will sometimes open roll. I will sometimes not open roll. And I
Yeah.
might even sometimes fake open roll. So look forward to that.
Yeah. That's the.
I approve of that.
Well,
No, I DM should be sneaky.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite things that I
Sneaky.
like to do IRL is I'll wait until people are doing something tense, and I'll just take a dice and I'll just roll it behind the screen, and then everyone goes,
Yeah.
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 "Whitey, what's like,
What's happening now?
yeah." So
Yeah. The last
Uh,
2, 3, 4, 4 years, 5 years, we had the same GM anyways. And well, he more or less always rolls the dice just to fuck you up.
yeah. Okay,
You
guys.
never know when.
So I'm gonna
Yes.
close the Zoom thing now whilst I go and find someone to host, because the
Yes.
D&D screen is now showing little windows of my second screen where your beautiful faces were. So I'm gonna run off, and thank you very much, guys. We'll sort out a new date soon, and I'm gonna have to get writing again. So
Awesome. See everyone later.
Everyone is
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.